So first off, I am not a person who regularly shops at a Nordstrom's, a Neiman Marcus, a Saks Fifth Avenue. Like, I'm not at this present time. I have not been that person. I think that the department store of my youth, which will date me a little bit for some of you, was Macy's. That was the department store we used to go to most frequently. I have been to Bloomingdale's, not for years. I really enjoyed Bloomingdale's at the time. This was quite some time ago, but I generally never think of going to a department store to buy fragrance. However, I realize that as someone who's still fairly new to fragrance collection, my fragrance era began like legitimately late 2022, definitely by 2023. I'd been hearing a lot about these, popular niche fragrances from houses like Parfums de Marley, Xerjoff, Matiere Premier, Creed, Liquides Imaginaires. There's so many of them. If you are new to fragrance collecting, I'm sure that you have been watching fragrance content creators who talk about these very popular niche brands, and you cannot go to a Sephora or to an Ulta Beauty to put your nose on these fragrances. You have to go to like these larger department stores. I would say that I have been to Nordstrom. I can still count on one hand, maybe 2 to 3 times. Actually, you know what? I think I've only been there once before. The one that I went to recently for this fragrance field trip outing, I'd only been there once before. Okay, so don't mind my cat. He's very demanding and grumpy and really vocal lately, so the only way I could get him to be quiet is to bring him in here for a minute. So yeah, I went once to this Nordstrom because the daughter of a coworker, a friend of mine, was working in the skincare department, so she had gotten me like a free chair to do my skincare for Paula's Choice. So I was there that one time, and then I also went to their cafe afterwards. Wonderful experience. This time, as you can see, I went during my lunch hour, and I went specifically and intentionally to put my nose on these fragrances from these fragrance brands, like the ones that I just talked to you about. These are the kinds of brands that you're not going to get at any other place. So everything fragrance and skincare related was on the first floor. The people were very, very nice. As soon as I walked into the area where fragrance was, there was this wonderful older woman at the Killian Paris, is it? Table, and she was right next to, I think, Parfums de Marley. No, she was next to Parfum de Marley, and then there was Penhaligons. So the very first table I went to was Penhaligons. I was next to her, and I was very curious about the fragrance Lord George. The whole name is The Tragedy of Lord George. I mean, it's Penhaligons. It's very British. And even though I'm so opposed to hunting and the whole, killing the deers and animals and putting their heads up, so there are animal heads on all of the fragrances in the men's line. The craftsmanship of those freaking bottle tops is so amazing. And the one for Lord George is a deer. And I live in an area where we have deer all over the place. So I love deer, I love seeing deer, and I love the deer head on the Lord George bottle. It is so beautiful. And the fragrance is so good. I really like that fragrance. So that one I really liked. And then after that, I smelled some of the Parfum de Marley fragrances, Valaya, the Delina exclusive. They weren't standout, memorable fragrances for me. But you know what was from Parfums de Marley? Althair. That was the one that I sprayed it on a card and absolutely loved it. And that one is very memorable for me. That stays in my head. I really, really like that one a lot. And then after that, what did I smell after that? It gets a little bit blurry after that. Okay, so I went to the Louis Vuitton table because the way Sharita M was going off about this latest Louboutin La Rose fragrance, I was just like, okay, tell me where that is. The woman who I saw at the Killian table led me over to that table. There was another woman there. She was so nice. I think her name was Seneca. I think her name is Seneca. Seneca, you're amazing. Thank you so much. And she gave me a little sample of the Louboutin La Rose fragrance. I'll talk more about that later. And then it was just from one place to the next, and everyone was just so cooperative, so wonderful, not oppressive or harassing or hovering or trying to press me at all, which I really, really appreciated. I will say that the other fragrances, because there weren't many that stood out to me, but the ones that did really stood out. So, I mean, I smelled like, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 fragrances. The ones that were most memorable to me were first Coral Fantasy by Valentino, which I could have smelled at Sephora. I've always loved that fragrance, but I really was happy to get this this little sample, which they used to give these at Sephora. This fragrance for me is really made by that kiwi at the top. It is so fresh and fruity and light and airy and just so perfect. Spring fragrance. I really, really like this. This might be the one Valentino fragrance that I pick up, because while I like Donna Born in Roma, the Green Extravaganza, and like the other ones that have come out, they're always just a little bit too much for me, a little bit too perfumey, a little bit too strong. This one I really, really like. I think it has an airiness to it that cuts down on it being just too overly done. I do like those fragrances. They're just a little bit too beastly for me. Whereas Coral Fantasy strikes just the right amount of projection for me with the kind of scent profile that I really gravitate towards, especially for the spring. Other fragrances that stood out to me, Matiere Premier Vanilla Powder. I kind of always knew I was going to like that one. This is kind of like a no-brainer. And it's hard to describe, but I definitely want to get a decant from Scent Split of that. Ooh, girl, it's addictive. It's really nice. But the other one that stood out to me by Matiere Premier is the Crystal Saffron, which I'd always had in my head to try as well. That fragrance, first of all, the saffron leatheriness of it all is quite a lot. And not in a way that I dislike. Like, I like it. But if it kept up at the level of projection that it was for the first, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 hours, I don't know. But when it dries down, because the next day is just as strong, but just a little bit more tolerable. But I have to say that I love the fragrance so much. But I could tell you don't need that much of Crystal Saffron to last you like a day or more, just a few spritzes. But I love the strength of it. I love the leatheriness of it. It's very much, you know, that's what you're getting. I know that there are other notes in it, but I was getting the saffron leather, just hard body off the top for hours. So it took until the next day for me to start to sort of get all of the other elements of Crystal Saffron, but overall, I love it. Another fragrance that kind of gave me a little bit of that sort of antique leatheriness was from Byredo, and that is the Antique Vanille or Vanille Antique. Oh my God, I mean, if you're the kind of person who likes that kind of scent profile, vanilla with leatheriness, I had an idea in my mind of what it would smell like, and it really met with those expectations, if not much better. I just love the warmth of that kind of fragrance. And like I said, I wasn't seeking anything seasonal. I was just seeking out fragrances that I had been checking off in my mind, filing away in my mind that I'd always wanted to try. Spring, fall, doesn't matter. And it was such a great experience for that. I would say that lastly, there was a really wonderful gentleman at the Amouage sort of like stand that they had, and he let me try out Amouage Reflection, which is very nice, very different for Amouage, though not a very projecting fragrance. I had smelled the original Amouage Guidance that like so many people are crazy about, or either crazy about or hate. I had gotten that in a dipstick decant, And right away, I was just like, this fragrance is not for me. There's a lot going on here. But as it dries down, I start to begin to understand why people liked it. But Amouage Guidance 46, that's the Amouage for me. That fragrance stayed with me for days, not just on the paper strip, because I didn't get a little tester, but just in my mind. You know, I kept going back to smell it. And it's just a hard fragrance to explain the beauty of it because it's so varied and nuanced and it has so many notes going on in it. But I really like that fragrance. Now, $520 something is not going to happen. So I'm definitely gonna get a decant from Scent Split. I mean, even the 9ml is like 70 something bucks, but I'll get either the 9 or the 5. I definitely want to spend more time with that fragrance, wearing it on my skin, seeing how it wears outside, you know, seeing how long it lasts, seeing how it mixes with my chemistry. It is really beautiful. And I had to kind of go back and watch a bunch of videos of comparisons between Amouage Guidance and Guidance 46, because at the time when they came out, when Amouage 46 came out, I think it was last year, I had no investment in it. I had no horse in the race. I just was like, I didn't like the first one, so I probably won't like 46. I really, really like that fragrance, and I am the last person I expected to care about an Amouage Guidance fragrance. It is polarizing, I get it, but it is definitely smoother. It's definitely more wearable, and yeah, I definitely want to explore that a little bit more. So I'll talk to you about it once I get my sample from Scent Split. So the other fragrance that I got a sample of, which I was kind of surprised because this just recently released, is the one that Sharita M is just going crazy over, and which she's so good at describing fragrances that she loves that I just had to look for this. And again, this is Louboutin La Rose. This is one of the little samples that they had. And this is a really interesting fragrance. And I will say at this time, because I've been spraying it on tester strips and smelling it and putting it down and just, you know, letting time go by and smelling it again. I've sprayed it on my skin a couple of times as well. It's not a fragrance that I feel like I need in my collection, but it is a fascinating, sexy, soft cherry rose fragrance that I will say when I first smelled it, I was just like, oh, this is a fragrance that is a tool of seduction. Like, because I could just see people's heads turning when they smell this fragrance. It is very unique, it's very sexy, but it's sexy in a way that is just very direct. So I'm gonna spray this. Oh, and look at the juice color. Oh my God, this is so pretty. The juice colors from fragrance releases that have been coming out this month are so pretty. So the large bottle of this from Louboutin is in one of those, it's the fetish line. So it is very fetishy looking, but I feel like I remember seeing these bottles with like the stabby tops years ago when Louboutin came out with nail polishes. And I was both scared and yet attracted to that sharp top. I mean, that is literally a weapon, but it sort of just goes in line with the whole, you know, fetish theme. I think it works very well for Louboutin, being a designer brand, a designer luxury brand. It's always worked for them, in my opinion. So I'm gonna spray this once again. And I'm not gonna talk notes either in this video because I want it to be really quick, but I will put the notes up here where you can see them. Oh, first whiff of this, sexy, oh my goodness. I don't know, this might be growing on me in a way that is making me want it, but let's just pump the brakes on me even thinking about picking this up yet. I still want to just explore this fragrance because this is a seduction tool fragrance. Yeah, this is a good fragrance. This is a good ass fragrance. This is a good fragrance. I can't say it's not a good fragrance. It's got darkness in it. I know there is a black cherry note in this, and I love, 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 love black cherry. Now I like the cherry and whipped cherry by Clean Reserve, but that's a different kind of cherry. The very, very first cherry fragrance that I loved was the Alice Brooklyn Vanilla Sin, which has a prominent dark cherry note in it, and that is what I love about it. Not the vanilla, mind you, but the cherry. And this cherry mixed with the rose, this is some kind of fragrance. It's grown and sexy. It's not for the children. It's not for work. I would say that this is for the evening. Yeah, so while it's not necessarily a fragrance that I feel like I need, you know, I could definitely find a place for this fragrance in my collection. When I first smelled this, I also got something that was slightly balsamic. I'm not really getting that anymore. I don't know. Every time I smell it, I smell something just a little bit different. And that is what I love about some high-end luxury niche fragrances. And that is the reason why I went to Nordstrom, because these kinds of fragrances are just so uniquely and beautifully and memorably, unforgettably composed. It wasn't just a successful trip, it was a joyful, wonderful, fulfilling, informative trip for me. It just was something that I wanted to do, and something I'm definitely going to be doing again, because there are still a few brands that I haven't smelled fragrances from that I want to check out there. It was really for the purpose of putting my nose on fragrances that I've heard about and just really being able to take them in and form an opinion on my own about if I want to consider getting larger bottles or full bottles. I really, really love discovering new fragrances and having really passionate people be able to kind of like take me into like the different worlds and ask me questions about what I like and suggest things for me. That's the kind of experience that you get at a Nordstrom's that you don't get anywhere else. And I love it. I love the service. I really appreciate it. It helps me to make informed decisions. I'm a big rose fragrance lover, and I have never smelled anything like this ever. It is so unique. And I could see Middle Eastern fragrance houses trying to dupe, and they do well. But this is the kind of fragrance that I would just want the original of. There's something to be said for smelling the original first. This is just mastery, artistry. Okay, so that is it for my video. Like I said, I just wanted to quickly go over the things that stood out to me in this experience, the fragrances that really stayed in my mind. My goal is to be able to smell all the fragrances that I am curious about, no matter how much they cost, decide how I really feel about them, and then make decisions about spending later. I'm gonna get off camera now so I can keep smelling this Louis Vuitton fragrance. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comment section whether these fragrances are fragrances that you have put your nose on, want to put your nose on, what you think of them, any that you would recommend to me. As always, I love to hear from you. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one soon. Bye.